Okay, day 129, part 4, and I believe now that the Trump dead body was in this area here because it's in relation to this lifeguard house, and I'll show you the emails to that effect. I had said earlier I thought it was over here, but you can see how close, no matter what, it's right. I remember looking up and seeing the Trump Hollywood sign. And if you want to go to the actual pictures, you can see here's the top of the Trump Hollywood with this concavity kind of the design there, and then there's this area right here where there's that alleyway, and then there's the lifeguard's office there. So just real briefly, I'll go up here and just show the pictures. There's the lifeguard house where they'd kind of walled things off, and then looking down the beach, there's where the tire tracks are by that little outcropping of bushes. And then you could see that there was those odd globes in that building next door, the white condominium, and then apparently the body was just found a little bit further down the beach there. So, and then there it is between this building here and the Trump Tower right there where all the police are standing. So I just wanted to finish that one off. And then if you zoom out on this map here a little bit, and we go out to there, this is the street going down that alleyway, and then I'll zoom out here and up to the map. You can zoom away from the Trump Tower there, and you can see the Diplomat, how close it is there to Trump Tower. And then I'm going to zoom out a little bit more from Miami Beach here to another property called 750 Ocean. So down that same road, basically, to Miami Beach, and you can see where Miami Beach is in relation to that. And you can see this location here, 750 Ocean Beach, is somewhere right in this area. And this is interesting and then this Parkland area is going to be out here somewhere, where I think where the shooting was. It's going to be out somewhere in this area, I believe. So we'll switch to the map and confirm that. We should have to be able to confirm that. And then down here is there's our location right there for the school shooting. That's or where the shooter lived at 6166 North Terrace. Okay, and this is 750 Ocean Drive, where Bogacheva may have bought into a hotel. So we'll go quickly to Bogacheva, and I have reason to believe she's at the 750 Ocean Drive location. You can see it's a $6 million hotel, so it's not a cheap hotel. And then some folks have added some additional information here, saying here's another name that's being associated, this MSDHS. So I'm not sure what MSDHS is, but they're somehow associating this James Runcie with that. I don't know if that's significant or not. But then someone else has put up this Oneida Corporation. I don't know if this is it's a crime blog, obviously, by someone in the Florida area, it looks like. And it looks like all the famous spots are where their hotels are. Here's our Fort Bliss location, where we had some terrorist events. Of course, we have Fort Bragg here with Vietnam, and then we've got Cocoa Beach here with our Port Canaveral. Of course, I've got our Green Bay Packers and our chopping shredders for our meat packing industry, so that doesn't look good. And then, of course, we've got Becerra over here in Sacramento making false images of servers, giving that to the FBI. We've got Carter Page down here working for Omar One with his with whatever he's doing in 2001 time frame, working for Omar One. So lots of interesting things, lots of interesting points on the map. But then they really go into all the different things of Oneida, talking about all the RICO and extortion. So it's almost like, looks like there's organized crime connections, and people are investing. Basically, these are money laundering funnels. So that's this person's take on this property. So I thought it was interesting that Bogacheva may be involved. Now, I don't know if this is the Bogacheva who's involved as a lawyer in Miami or the 13-person Rosenstein indictment. We don't know yet. But then I saw this luxury car theft ring, and that got my eye as well. So you can go to my Twitter for that, go to TruthLeaks for that. Following, what I like doing is identifying new entities. This VTB I wasn't really aware of as a Russian bank. And here it's talking about this guy who's murdered, this director who's found murdered, which made the cable news. And then additional research has come in since this afternoon about this is the 2007 deaths, but then there's other deaths there as well. So I posited, and here again, this is where working theory comes in, I posited KRYLOVA could be a wink, an industry wink saying, hey, I'm an organized crime person, I have all these women under my thumb that are dependent on me because I'm giving them drugs, I forced them into prostitution, maybe their husband's in jail, they'll do anything. What if I was to introduce these young strippers or whatever they are to all these bank executives, they marry them, get half their assets, and then die suddenly? And it is odd because it does seem to follow the pattern. There's another person at VTB that dies, a guy named Funin at 43, right? And of course he was negligently playing with a pistol and shot himself in the head, and it reminded me so much of Gary Webb's death. But then I saw that VTB Group, in addition, invests in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan and Ukraine, and immediately, to me, tied together our whole story as, hey, I'm going to basically take the private wealth group, I'm going to go into it, I'm going to look and see who all the customers are, I'm going to get surveillance on all of them by sending Carter Page over and going to an investment conference. Then I'm going to I'm going to send in my Rostanets, and we're going to end up owning this thing. And I'm going to do this in partnership with Sechin, the FSB guy. I'm going to take all these ex-FSB agents, just like in our movie Chinatown, and I'm going to just put them in as placeholders for all my different investments across the board when I go in and I raid a private investment bank. Is that what's happening here? I noticed all the affiliate banks with Serbia, and especially this one here with Cyprus. So, and of course, the obligatory China and India connection as well. So we don't know, but that's just a possibility. Then I noticed just reading this thing about Zhukovsky's death, again, this may be a Rostanet, I don't know how long he was married and so forth, but then there was another guy that wasn't mentioned in that other article called Alexander Plotkin, who was also killed. Was this another Sechin setup? I'm going to start calling this the Sechin setup. Was this another Sechin setup? We don't know. So I had a conversation with an FBI agent that I hadn't talked to in a while, and you might be able to guess who that is. And she was saying, hey, what's coming up on the agenda? And I gave her a quick summary, so I thought I'd give everyone else the summary, which was Devin Nunes has set out this 10 questions memo to about 20, I believe, different folks, saying, hey, how did you come to know about all the stuff in the Christopher Steele memo? So this is the 10 questions from the Business Insider, which reprints the whole dossier, okay? And Devin Nunes in this article says there's 5 memos in all. So again, this next deadline is March the 2nd. Of course, we've got the Awan trial coming up March the 5th. And of course, I'm going to be filing a summary judgment for Glenn Simpson tomorrow in D.C. District Court. So lots happening this week. And then finally, someone asked me, what do you consider old Mossad and new Mossad? And that, again, I'm speculating. I'm receiving anonymous mails from my cryptographic email, getting seemingly good information from different art dealers and antique dealers. I am speculating, but I believe that Robert Maxwell was kind of that old James Bond style agent from Mossad, economic spy type of thing. And I'm speculating again, but Ehud Barak kind of takes over in the mid-90s, early 90s, and it becomes a much more sinister Mossad. And again, there are plenty of people that said, no, the baby snatching in Lebanon was way before that in 82, etc. And yes, there's pushes and shoves in all these things, but I believe Bibi Netanyahu is kind of the last of the old Mossad. So, and we're somewhere in between. And my association, what little I had I believe, again, this is my perception, not can't prove it. I did have my Proton Mail account till it was closed down, but my perception is that there is this internal tension between the Bibi Netanyahu faction, which is the old economic spying, versus this Ehud Barak kind of win at all costs, Anthony Weiner type methodology. So that's the update for part 4.